Now you will hear section 1. You have 30 seconds to read questions 1 to 10. Good morning, City Cycle Hire.
Hello, I'd like to hire some bikes for the weekend.
Certainly. Can I take your name first?
Yes, it's David Pearson, P-A-R-S-O-N.
Thank you. And what sort of bikes are you after?
Mountain bikes, please, we're planning to go off the main roads.
Good choice for that. How many mountain bikes do you need?
3, please, it's for me and 2 friends.
3 bikes. And for how long?
Just 2 days, we pick them up on Saturday and bring them back Sunday.
That's fine. You can collect them from our shop on Bridge Street, do you know it?
Bridge Street, yes, I can find that. Is there a deposit?
There is, £20 per bike, refunded when you return them undamaged.
Fair enough. Does anything come with the bikes?
Each bike comes with a lock and a helmet, free of charge. We strongly recommend wearing the helmet.
Of course. What time do we need to have them back?
The shop closes at 6, so please return them by 6 p.m. on the Sunday.
Understood. And what happens if a bike gets damaged?
If there's any damage, you don't lose the whole deposit automatically, you simply pay for the cost of the repairs, which is usually small.
That's reasonable. Any route you'd suggest?
For a group, I'd recommend the river path. It's flat, scenic and traffic-free. The forest trail is lovely too, but quite steep in places.
The river path sounds ideal. Thanks very much.
Now you will hear section 2. You have 30 seconds to read questions 11 to 20. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fellside Youth Hostel. I'm the warden, and I'll run through a few things to help you settle in. The building has a lot of character. It was once a working mill, grinding flour for the whole valley. You can still see the old water wheel round the back. It's been a hostel now for over 30 years. Let me cover meals first. Breakfast is served in the dining room from 7 to 9 each morning, so there's no need to book. Just come down whenever suits you within those hours. Evening meals aren't provided, but you're very welcome to cook for yourselves. A couple of important requests. We're in a quiet village, so please keep noise down after 10 p.m. out of respect for other guests and our neighbors. You don't need to take your shoes off indoors, and there's no curfew, so you can come and go as you like with your own key. One thing people always ask about, Wi-Fi. I'm afraid there's no signal in the bedrooms, but it works well in the lounge, and it's completely free. Now, let me point out where everything is. As you come in through the front door, you're at reception, point A on the plan. A hallway runs from here through the building. The dormitories are up the first staircase on your right, at point B downstairs again. The self-catering kitchen is the first room on the left, at point C, help yourselves to the pans and crockery. Next to the kitchen, also on the left, is the dining room at point D, where breakfast is served. Across the hall, on the right, you'll find the laundry at point E, with a washer and dryer you can use for a small fee. The room beside the laundry, point F, is my office, so knock there if you need me. Further along, the common room is at point G, a cozy place with sofas and books. And finally, at the very back, there's a drying room at point H, which is a real blessing after a wet day on the hills. Now you will hear section 3. You have 30 seconds to read questions 21 to 30.
So, Nadia, Owen, tell me how the soil project is going.
Well, we've been comparing the soil in 2 community gardens on opposite sides of town. We thought 2 sites would give us a decent contrast without being too much to handle.
Sensible scope. Owen, you took the samples, was that straightforward? The digging itself was fine. The tricky part was getting permission. One of the gardens has a committee, and it took ages to get the go-ahead to take samples there. That's often the hardest bit of fieldwork. Now, how long is the report running?
That's our worry, it's too long. We're well over the word limit and we'll have to cut it down.
You will, yes. On the positive side, I was really impressed by your references, thorough, up-to-date and properly formatted. Well done. Thanks. Is anything obviously missing? I'd suggest adding some interviews with the gardeners themselves. A few quotes about how they manage their soil would bring the whole thing to life and support your figures.
Oh, I like that idea. Owen, you're better at chatting to people. Could you do those?
Sure, I'll handle the interviews. I have to admit, though, I'm a bit nervous. Not about the writing, but about the statistics. I'm never confident I've analyzed the numbers correctly. That's very common. Come to my office and we'll go through the calculations together. Now, how are you dividing up the rest of the work?
We'll do the graphs together. We work well side by side on those. I'll write up the methods section on my own.
And I'll do the interviews, as we said.
Then we'll both go through the references at the end to make sure they're all correct.
Sounds like a well-organized plan.
Now you will hear section 4. You have 30 seconds to read questions 31 to 40. Today I'd like to introduce a fascinating group of plants, the carnivorous plants, which turn the usual rules of nature on their head by catching and eating animals. But why would a plant need to do that? The answer lies in where they grow. Carnivorous plants are typically found in soil that is extremely poor in nutrients, thin, waterlogged ground where little else survives. Because the soil can't supply what they need, these plants have evolved to trap insects and, in doing so, obtain extra nitrogen, an element vital for growth that they simply can't get from the ground. There are several different trapping strategies. The most famous is the Venus flytrap, whose hinged leaves snap shut in a fraction of a second. The trigger is a set of tiny hairs on the surface of the leaf. When an insect brushes against these hairs, the trap closes. A second type is the pitcher plant, which forms a deep tube. Insects slip on the rim and fall into a pool of liquid at the bottom, where they cannot climb out. A third strategy is used by the sundew, whose leaves are covered in droplets of a sticky glue. An insect that lands is stuck fast. Once the prey is caught, How does the plant actually feed on it? The trapped insect is slowly broken down by special enzymes that the plant releases, much like the chemicals in our own stomachs. As the insect dissolves, the plant absorbs the minerals that are set free and uses them to grow. A couple of remarkable points to end on. The Venus flytrap is extraordinary among plants because it can actually move very quickly. Its snapping motion is one of the fastest in the plant kingdom. And as I mentioned, these plants favor wet ground, so many of them are found in bogs, where the water is acidic and low in nutrients. Sadly, carnivorous plants are increasingly under threat. The chief reason their numbers are falling is that their habitat is being drained and destroyed to make way for farming and building.